Decades ago, Rabbi Yechiel Eckstein founded the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews to build broad support for the State of Israel. Eckstein died in February, but his legacy lives on. His daughter Yael took charge of the organization. I sat down with her recently and asked about how she's doing and what she sees for the future of the organization. Yael, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people would like to know how you're doing after the passing of your father.
Leonard Cohen said, something with a crack lets the light in, and I feel like my heart's very broken. I miss my father. I still can't comprehend and internalize I'm never going to see him again or get a hug from him. But I also feel a lot of light. I feel a lot of peace. I see a lot of God's hand within the tragedy that my father didn't suffer. I feel like I got to tell him everything I wanted to tell him, how proud I am of him, how much I love him, how much I look up to him. I wish I had another day. I wish I had another year. I wish I had another 20 years. I wish I had another lifetime to be with him. But I'm just so grateful to God for everything I had for the past 34 years.
What is your dad's legacy?
It's interesting being the new president of the organization, also being his daughter. And I felt that so strongly when I was sitting Shiva, when I was mourning for him, that people would come and tell me all the legacy from the organization, people that he helped, and getting on a flight and flying to Ukraine the second the war in eastern Ukraine broke out in order to help the Jewish people there, and going and speaking at mega churches and inspiring tens of thousands of people who never heard about why they should care about Israel. But he also made a big legacy in our family. A legacy of, first and foremost, he was a father. First and foremost, he loved us and encouraged us and appreciated us and saw us, which is something that I don't think many children can say about their parents, unfortunately.
In what way do you see the work of the fellowship as prophetic?
Everything we do is prophetic. Everywhere I look, it's prophetic. From greeting Aliyah, new immigrants who are coming home to Israel from all four corners of the earth after they've survived persecution, communism, the Holocaust, that the whole world said the Jewish people will not recover from this. Suddenly we have Christians bringing from the biblical land of the north Jewish people on wings of eagles home to Israel. That's prophecy. That's what Isaiah and Jeremiah, this is what they saw 2,000 years ago. They were having the visions of us sitting here in Jerusalem.
What was his relationship with Pat Robertson?
He loved him from the very, very beginning. Pat Robertson, along with many others like Pat Boone and Jack Hayford, and many others, John Hagee. But the way that Pat Robertson was just passionate about it, it seemed like he was praying for this, and God sent my father as the answer to prayers because he got it before my father even developed the whole idea.
And what do you see going forward for the fellowship?
We have a lot of work, but we also have a lot of very strong foundations. The day that my father passed away and we were burying him, there was an Aliyah flight landing in Israel. Since my father's death, not one elderly who was expecting food didn't get food, not one orphan didn't get clothing. Aliyah has only continued even stronger. That we have an operational model that works. And dare I say, thank God it works without my father. But in the past 3 years, he said, Yael, you're the visionary now. You create the projects, you identify the need.
Talk about the atmosphere we're in right now. It seems like anti-Semitism is growing, even in the United States, and it's perhaps especially in the United States. How does the fellowship fit into this new atmosphere?
It's in the American government. It's no longer a fringe. There's always been a fringe of anti-Semitism in America. You've always had the KKK, but they were taboo. They were ostracized. What's happening now is a new age intellectual anti-Semitism that's fooling people that they're aligned with America's values of freedom, when in reality they are creating the exact opposite atmosphere. It's terrifying. And maybe for the first time, Christians are just as at risk as the Jews. We're in the same boat. It's very clear that we are fighting a war of light versus darkness, good versus bad, and everyone's at risk of falling. that we need to stand together.
Finally, Yael, how can people pray for you?
I've gotten through this time because of the prayers of millions of people, and I have no way to say thank you enough for those prayers, for me, for the ministry. I want to have a pure heart, prayer for a pure heart, that I could actually hear God speaking and see Him working through me.
Well, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people praying for you, Yael, as the future goes on. Thank you very much.